All right. So for the next 4 weeks, we are going to be talking about one of my favorite books, The Four Agreements. This thing was an absolute game changer for me, and so I'm super excited about this series. We're going to do a 4-part series on the Four Agreements. No big mystery why. There are 4 agreements. We're going to talk about all 4 and the book as a whole. Because, yeah, it's a lot of powerful stuff in here. If you haven't read it, we'll give you a little synopsis, and it's going to be laced with our opinions.
Yes.
So I highly recommend that you get the book yourself and see how it impacts you personally. I will tell you a little sneak peek is every time you read it, depending on where you're at in life and what kind of mindset and state you're in, you're going to find something different. It's one of those. Mm-hmm. So it's not a one and done kind of book. I tell you that. So I'm excited about this.
Yes. But in the interim, our gift to you actually is a PDF down below where you can start today reducing your stress. There's some tried and true techniques that really, really will help you. Get that started. You can do it in a week. It can coincide with the book actually as well.
Absolutely.
With life. It just does. So do that for yourself today.
Adopting these 4 agreements will definitely reduce your stress. There's just no two ways around it. It can't not. But it takes a little time, a little shift in the way that you approach life and the way that you approach yourself. So those steps that she's talking about, the 1-week guide, the 3 steps to reducing your stress, is something you can start today. This will have an impactful long-term effect on your life and where it goes and how much you enjoy being in it. But the other ones will help you start today, make you feel powerful steps you can take right now. So
and steps you can continue throughout your
absolutely.
life. It's just great tools to have.
Smaller agreements.
Yeah, smaller agreements, exactly.
But still powerful.
Right.
So, yeah. So, all in all, for me, this book is about, my take from it is that when it refers to the 4 agreements, it's talking about as kind of a standards that you have for yourself and others, but mostly yourself, because you are all you can control, right? I mean, so it does talk about how you relate to others some and how you receive others, but ultimately, at the end of the day, it's really just about you, because that's all you have any power over. So we all teach others how to treat us based on our standards and our rules and our agreements, and we also treat ourselves based on those. And the promise of adopting these agreements, the promise this little book makes, is that you'll be able to, if you adopt these, you'll be able to break the agreements and the standards and the beliefs you have that are more limiting and destructive and fear-based in your life. So ultimately, you're going to reduce your stress because you end up with more power and
healthier, better beliefs to carry in your life. Your life will be enriched with changing where it's coming from.
And more control over yourself and the trajectory of your life. It's a win-win, trust me. First time I read this was, 2014?
Just a bit ago.
Yeah. And I still read it. So when were you introduced to it?
Probably not quite that long ago, but my friend bought it for me. And I did, and then, of course, when you and I started doing this, I read it again.
Yes.
It's something to read over and over and good to have. It's a short, quick, nice read.
It is.
Powerful, but not a really long thing.
Not that long.
Yeah.
A rainy afternoon, and you are empowered.
You certainly are.
Yeah. So, first one is being impeccable with your word. Now, on its face, I'll be honest with you, the first time I ever heard that, I thought it meant honor. You know, say what you mean what you say. If you promise to do something, follow through, and have good character in that way.
But it probably has a lot to do with what we say to mostly ourselves, but outward as well.
Absolutely. So it's more about the power of language, and not about honoring your word, like I thought. But you get 3 sentences in, and you know that's what it's about, which is fantastic. Right. So it says. There's a little quote here I just want to read from the book. I don't have it marked, although I have everything else marked. I have it written down. It's do what you say. No, it's the human mind is like a fertile ground where seeds are continually being planted. So the seeds are opinions, ideas, and concepts. You plant a seed, a thought, and it grows. So the word is like a seed, and the human mind is so fertile. I mean, You just can't say it better than that.
No,
I
you
had to
can't.
quick take it
That's
from the book.
absolutely
because,
perfect.
Yeah. So she is a great example of this. And I know that we've all done this on some level, but I don't think anybody knows that we met at a job. So we were coworkers for a while. And that job, I came in, and I'm always very quiet when I first come in to any new situation, which is ironic because I talk so damn much. But I like to assess my surroundings and the people and make sure that I'm safe and secure, right? So I watch everybody for months usually before I really start to engage. And the company was trying to push her to do something beyond her comfort zone. And she had a list of reasons and explanations why that just wasn't an option. Like,
True.
Yeah.
So true.
So what was it?
So I had been a stay-at-home mom. I'm not college educated. So I had limited my thinking. Gosh, here I am. I do another job and I do that fine, and I'm in that wheelhouse is fine. But this was like blow the doors off, man. Do something on Zoom. Do something interacting with people and extending
and being in a
knowledge.
leadership role.
And being in a leadership role. So I had set that in my head, just that limiting belief.
And she explained it. So she's like, no. You guys
This
think.
is why, just like I said to
Yeah.
you.
You guys think that I'm capable of doing these things. Let me explain to you why I'm not. And so she had four very concise, easy, ready to go reasons, which means that you had practiced them. Like they were an agreement that you had with yourself. I knew my limitations.
Absolutely.
Well, they didn't believe her. So they pushed her, and she did phenomenal. So the agreement had to change. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it did change. And then I started to realize that I had done that to myself, and that by taking that chance, I mean, the worst was that I was maybe not going to do as well right out of the gates, and knew how I had to train for more expertise that I needed in that job. So it did work out that it was a very good growth time for me in my life, and I will be forever grateful for it. But yes, I learned, boy, I was telling myself and then everyone else.
Yeah, some very limiting.
Stories. I wasn't impeccable with my words, actually.
That's right. And now we have her on camera here with you guys, which is mind-blowing if you would have looked back.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is not something I would have ever thought I'd do.
No.
So.
No. I used to try to get her in a picture for promotional purposes at work.
Remember the videos you tried to get me to do in the store, and I'd be like, no.
Well, you made us do one where you were just using your hands. Like, here, I'll just
seemed logical to me.
videotape my hands doing. It was an experience. It's a journey to get here. But if you are open to the fact that maybe you're not being as impeccable with your word, and you are limiting yourself, I mean that's huge in and of itself. So this is a really, really, this is one of my favorites, because we find the way that we talk to ourselves, conversations we have with ourselves, conversations we have with others, either we get super dramatic because maybe we're trying to explain and express how hurt we are, or how limited we feel like we're not worthy. And so we give all these reasons why we're not good enough. And you know what? I mean, if you're convincing enough, and most people who are really hurt are very convincing.
Right.
The more insecure you are about something, the more you can plead that case for why you'll never be able to do this, you'll never be able to do that, and maybe even offer some other people as reasons why.
I'm going to be much more impeccable with my word, because then I have to eat them when it...
Right. It's true. Or they limit you. I had this thing. I was a touch stubborn when I was little.
Really? Just a little bit?
I've grown out of it.
Oh, that's lovely.
So I would get angry and say, I'm not doing fine. I don't want to do this anyway. And then that anger would go away relatively quickly because it was a moment of peak. And now I've already said, I've already opted out of something that I wanted to do, or something that I didn't want, and I would just have to eat that. I would never go back and say, I'm sorry that I'm going to have that now. Never. But so you learn, like what you say, you better friggin' figure it out before you say it. Otherwise you're going to miss out on some stuff. And that's a microcosm for, obviously bigger stuff in the world, as far as our connections with people and our relationships, and living up to our potential, and realizing a lot of our dreams and things that we want to do and experience,
And what we pour into, I particularly think of kids, Your words are so important because they are listening. I know they watch you, but they are listening too.
Oh, 1,000%.
And so how we speak to them and what we are saying. And
Especially
your spouse
in a
and your
moment,
mom and your...
in just a moment of frustration maybe, which is absolutely justifiable, but they're going to take that and repeat it for the next 20 years in their head.
Yep.
You know, so.
You forget it eventually, but they perhaps don't.
Yeah, oh yeah, you can't take that back. And so hopefully they will watch and learn and read that. But if we can stop the cycle, then nobody will have to read this ever again.
Right.
It can go down the archives as a game changer. That just is.
Right.
So.
And a person can be proud of what they say and do.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. That's my new thing. So every night I go through the category in my mind, whether I worked that day or dealt with the kids that day or was hanging out with you guys or whoever it was. Am I proud of the way that I did that today, the way I showed up today, the way I spoke today? Was I proud of the way I treated myself today and the way that I ate and moved my body? And sometimes I go, nope, not terribly proud. I can do better.
I can do better.
And so then that just sets it on the to-do list for the next day. Not a, oh my God, I'm such a loser.
Right.
It's, okay, well, now I know what tomorrow holds for me.
Right.
I'm going to step
New
up
day.
my game in that area and maintain. So I'm finding a lot of fun with it. I do 30-day challenges, as you've probably noticed, because we've presented some to you in the past, and that is the way that I do it. So I don't know how you do it.
It's a battle every day. Just you know, because like I was telling you, you know, if I eat something and I'm like, why, Tara? Why did you do that? You know, it's how I talk to myself. Like, why? What is the reason? You know.
Right.
You talk to me about the whys, but
yeah, you'll get an answer to that. Be careful the question you answer. We might post that video in there too. You might want to check that out. Be careful of what you ask for because you're going to get an answer.
Yeah.
So, read the book along with us. We are going to talk about the second agreement next week, which is, of course, don't take anything personally, which is a lot easier said than done.
Yep.
A lot easier said than done, but it is a worthy goal. So,
but this week, be impeccable with your word.
Yes.
You can do it, enjoy it, really embrace it. And don't forget that free download that's down there for you.
You know, it might be good too, is impeccable with your word, but also catch other people. Step back and listen to when they're talking to you and how it makes you feel, because that is like a little microcosm of how you're making other people feel. So you decide whether that's something you want to project onto people or not.
That's a really good point.
Oh. Give it a shot. See what you think. We will do the same, I promise. Right?
I promise.
Okay, great. And we'll see you next week.
Tara and Roxanne here to help you calm your mind so you can enjoy your life.
See you
Thanks,
later.
guys.
Bye.